Good evening, Battle Crew. Good evening, America. Welcome to Battleground Live. This is the show where we kick ass, take names, go after the radical left, day in, day out, 5 days a week, right here on Rumble from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. live, Monday through Friday. Folks, guess what? Today is Savage Wednesday. We've got Savage Rich Barris on deck for the show tonight. He's the founder of Big Data Poll, the director of Big Data Poll, and the host of a great show on Rumble called Inside the Numbers. We're going to talk about all the new polling stuff, a complete breakdown of the DNC. We got RFK dropping out, ABC reporting that RFK might be endorsing President Trump. Is that going to make a difference? We're going to talk about the Catholic vote. Just really, really, really important stuff. He's the only pollster that I trust. And folks from Sea to Shining Sea and everybody in between, welcome to the show tonight. I'm super excited. It's been a crazy week. And in fact, many of you all in the live chat have acknowledged just how crazy it's been. People said, oh, it's been a crazy couple of days. And yeah, it has been a crazy couple of days. Then I got to thinking, I'm like, hell, crazy couple of days. It's been a crazy year. I mean, seriously, we talked about this the other day. But the lawfare stuff, I mean, it just seems like yesterday we were reporting on it and how crazy it was and how it was slowly escalating and how even though I was hoping for the system to work out in our favor, like remember, well, there's no way a judge is going to allow, these radical leftists to get away with this. Oh, there's no way a jury's going to, somebody's going to stop it. Well, we were wrong and the leftists pushed the envelope. That seems like an eternity ago. The Trump mugshot seems like an eternity ago. Did you ever think for a second that mugshot I thought was going to be the picture of the election cycle? I thought that mugshot printed people rocking that t-shirt everywhere, that was going to be the picture of an election cycle. But I was wrong about that. I mean, because to me, the image of the 2024 cycle is Trump with his fist raised in the air, almost millimeters away from death, yelling, fight, fight, fight. I mean, this is the craziest time in American politics. So you are in the right place. And also, got a request from my producer extraordinaire before we jump headlong into the news. Brockstar, he's asking for folks to follow him on Twitter/X. He's 30 away from 2000. So if you are on X, get over there and follow Brockstar. I'm sure he would very, very much appreciate it. Okay, I got to talk right off the bat about what President Trump said today. And again, we're going to talk about President Trump. We're going to talk about what Stephanie Grisham said and how selling your soul takes a toll because she looks like she didn't look good. And I'm not making a snide comment about like her beauty or lack thereof. I'm saying that selling your soul, I feel like takes a toll on who you are. And I realized texting with one of my friends before I went live on the show, I'm like, that rhymes. I'm going to use that. But I didn't, I just typed it out. Didn't intend it to be catchy. But listen to what President Trump said today at a speech live. And I want to talk about it a little bit because I just think it's so important. Listen.
They were killing him under Obama. Did you see Barack Hussein Obama last night? Take little shots. He was taking shots at your president. And so was Michelle. They always say, sure, please stick to policy. Don't get personal. And yet they're getting personal all night long, these people. Do I still have to stick to policy? Sir, you must stick to policy. You'll win it on the border. You'll win it with inflation. You'll win it with your great military that you built that they gave away $85 billion worth of it in Afghanistan. Sir, you're going to win it on crime. The crime is running through the streets like never before. You're going to win it on all of these things.
So I showed you this. It's a small part of Trump's speech. But haven't I been saying something like this for a long time? Republican consultants advising President Trump, stick to policy. They don't like the personal attacks, and look, you can understand where they're coming from, right? The environment, what we call the environment, is in our favor. So every single poll, it doesn't even matter what the top lines are, every single poll like when you ask people about the economy, you ask people about inflation, you ask people about the border, crime, staggering percentage of people think that all of these issues are way out of control. And so that's how people define the environment. So even if you don't trust top lines of polls, and by the way, you shouldn't, you should look at trends, as I always say. Even if you don't trust the top lines, polling is still a really good way to get a sense of where our electorate is with the culture, with where we are. And so, this is why pollsters want Trump, or not pollsters, but consultants want Trump to just stick to the policy because the policy's so in our favor. But let me ask you a question, Battle Crew, the people in the live chat, the people who might be listening to the show right now. Does the left afford us the same courtesy? They do not, right? When the left extends us an olive branch, do you trust that olive branch? After some violent radical leftist attacks a Republican, there's always talk of cooling of the rhetoric, and we just need to dial it back again. And the media puts this out as if everybody needs to dial back the rhetoric. But really, does the right have a rhetoric problem? Not really. I mean, there'd be maybe some one-off, crazy people that might say crazy stuff. I'm not talking about them. The mainstream right does not have a rhetoric problem. The mainstream left does have a rhetoric problem. In other words, they are constantly espousing radical, what could be perceived as violent rhetoric, and their attacks are always small and personal. So let's talk about Stephanie Grisham, who was a mid-level staffer in the Trump White House, by the way. So, of course, not what she says publicly. She would act like she's the closest advisor to the president. I mean, she is a well-established liar at this point. She worked as a deputy comms director in the Trump White House. She worked as on Melania Trump's staff. And this woman gave a speech last night at the Democrat National Convention. And it's just hard for me to wrap my mind around doing something like this. What kind of terrible person conducts themselves professionally like this? And it makes me wonder. It really does make me wonder, do these people really believe what they believe? And it harkens back to what I say about us being radicals. Like, we're constitutionalists. If being a radical means that, hey, you love the Constitution, so be it. Call me a radical all you want. My principles matter. I'm not selling them for anything. I'm not compromising those principles for anyone, and I don't give a damn what's on the line. If I was running for office and someone said, sir, hey, look, these, you gotta really lay off the Second Amendment stuff because you might lose, I'd say, so be it. Clinging to power is not important. It is not as important to maintaining your integrity, maintaining your principles. And it makes me wonder, do any of these staffers, these permanent White House staffers that seem to be in every Republican administration, do they have any real loyalty? Do they have any principles at all? Listen to Stephanie Grisham and keep that on the forefront of your mind.
I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU, he was mad that the cameras were not watching him. He has no empathy, no morals, and no fidelity to the truth. He used to tell me, it doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie. Say it enough and people will believe you. But it does matter. What you says matter. And what you don't say matters. On January 6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word, no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. impunity any longer. When I was press secretary, I got skewered for never holding a White House briefing. It's because, unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote. Thank you.
That bothers me a lot. Because let me ask you all, folks, could you ever be a turncoat like this? I mean, do you think that she's, a lock, stock, and barrel, card-carrying conservative like all of us? Do you think she's phony from the beginning? And in truth, how are we vetting these people that we let into our movement? And by the way, I'm just not speaking on behalf of or speaking for the Trump administration from 16 to 20. Other Republican administrations as well. How are we ensuring that the people that we're getting are real conservatives that would never do something like that? Because on one hand, how do you say, as part of the Trump family, we spent Easters together, we spent Thanksgiving together, I was close with all of them, and then turn around and stab them in the back? And that gives you a window. It really should give you a window into how Trump views the world and why he's so protective of his family and why he punches back. That man, in addition to being dragged through the mud, through an endless corrupted system. And remember the quote that I love and appreciate so much. And boy, let me tell you something else on a personal note. It speaks to me today a lot. But the system has been going after Trump for some time. And Trump saying, relish the opportunity to be an outsider, because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. The more that a broken system tells you that you are wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. You must keep pushing forward. And the system has been going after Trump since day one. They've been going after his kids. They've been going after his grandkids. They've been making the entire life of the Trump family a living hell. People that have worked close to him have stabbed him in the back and do things like Stephanie Grisham just did. There's no honor in that. If you had an issue with President Trump, like my boss, I'm not going to stand at that podium, unlike my boss. If you had an issue with the way that your boss was conducting themselves, then you should have quit then. You have an ounce of integrity and you walk away. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that because being close to Trump gave you clout. And now, speaking at the DNC, being a turncoat, being anti-Trump also gives you clout. And that's what I say. You sell your soul, it takes a toll. And you can see that toll written all over Stephanie Grisham's face. And just to give you a sense of the kind of person that Trump is, I don't know if you all saw this, but I've said to you for a very long time that the media does not give Trump a fair shake. I know the guy. I know the man. I have seen him when the cameras are off. And let me tell you that man loves and appreciates his supporters. And by the way, he remembers them. I mean, every time we see President Trump, he remembers my name. He remembers Melanie's name. He remembers people and he cares a lot. This video of Trump today helping a woman who passed out at a rally speaks volumes of his character. And I like to take a couple of minutes here and there to highlight the goodness in this man, because the media, even by and large conservative media, just doesn't do a good enough job doing it. But just watch this. If you're listening, just know that what you're hearing is Donald Trump stopping a speech and walking over to a woman to help her after she passed out at a rally.
Take your time, please.
Yeah, I have to use one.
Now, folks who are listening, you can't see it, but Trump walked out from behind newly installed bulletproof or ballistic glass. That bulletproof and ballistic glass allowed him to get back out there to do outdoor rallies. Now, Trump, in seeing a woman pass out as a heat casualty at his rally, walked from out behind that bulletproof glass just over a month after being millimeters away from death. An assassin's bullet almost killed this guy at one of his outdoor rallies. He sees a woman struggling, and he doesn't hesitate, not even for a second, but he walks out beyond that glass, down into almost the crowd area, just to check on her and to give this woman a hug. And that's why the crowd was saying, "We love Trump. We love Trump." It just gives you a sense of the kind of guy he really is. And in this very same rally speech, President Trump announced a lot of things. One, he said, resignations on my desk day one for people who were responsible for the Afghan withdrawal. I want their resignations on my desk day one. That is awesome news because accountability is long overdue. The fact that nobody has been held accountable for that disastrous surrender in Afghanistan and the embarrassment of America on the world stage is shameful. So it gave me joy to hear him say that. And also, President Trump said on stage today at that very same rally that all military members who were discharged for refusing the COVID mandate will be reinstated. They'll receive full back pay along with a formal apology from the United States government. And let me tell you, folks, that is what right looks like. That is what taking care of our troops looks like. So God bless Trump. And I want you all to do me a favor. Every time that man does a rally, every time that man appears in public, every time that man steps from out behind the bulletproof glass to try to go and help somebody in the crowd, it is not a stretch or an exaggeration to say that he's risking his life. Not only does Trump need our prayers, he deserves our support. He deserves our outspoken support. Because that man has been on the parapet for us for 8 years, taking the arrows, taking the shots from deep state and these Democrats who despise him, almost lost his life fighting for what he believes in. And believe me when I tell you, that guy does not need that. We've said this many, many times on the show. He doesn't need that. All right, let me take a quick break, tell you about Genesis Gold Group. With so many options available for Americans to protect their retirement or wealth with physical precious metals, it is hard to know who to trust. And look, there are so many gold companies out there. It is hard to know who to trust. Well, our partners at Genesis Gold Group are a faith-driven gold and silver company that is unabashedly America first. They don't try to hook people with free silver. For them, it's all about teaching, coaching, and mentoring people who have questions about investing in gold and silver. Because again, it's normal to have lots of questions. I remember when Melanie and I, my wife and I, were talking about this, she's like, well, what happens with the gold? Like, do I have it in my person? I mean, they store it in a bank somewhere? I mean, these are the questions that you might have as well. So, give them a call, go to their website, visit rumblegold.com today. You get their free definitive gold guide. You can also reach out to them with any questions that you have. And the reality is that government officials, Democrats and Republicans, have destroyed the value of our dollar for the better part of 40 years. All my life, throughout the course of my life, actually, the value of the dollar has plummeted. So even though I'm not an investment person, I do have some common sense. It makes sense to invest in gold or silver, not with all of your retirement, but maybe just as a hedge against the destructive economic policies that our politicians put forth every single day. So, and then you add to that gold and silver has slowly crept up and kept and retained its value or gained in value over that time. To me, it's a no-brainer. Just play it safe. Be ready for anything. So visit rumblegold.com today to get their free definitive gold guide. That is rumblegold.com. Also, you know what's coming. Coming next. Red Beach Nation. You know I love Red Beach Nation. Red Beach Nation is a conservative apparel and beachwear company for freedom-loving Americans. So whether you live at the beach or you're just traveling to the beach or you just imagine yourself at the beach like we do here at Fort Parnell because we can't afford a vacation in the Biden economy, Red Beach Nation's comfy, patriotic apparel is sure to lift your spirits. And the reason why I love this company, and you should too, is that it's founded by a former counterterrorism officer, a war veteran of Iraq and Afghanistan. Red Beach Nation is committed to upholding American values and principles that we all hold so dear. Red Beach Nation is just pure Americana. So not shirts that are designed to spark outrage. So come live the sand, surf, and freedom lifestyle with us. Head on over to redbeachnation.com and use the promo code Sean, SEAN, to save 10% off of your order. Again, that's redbeachnation.com and use the promo code Sean, SEAN, to save 10% off of your order. Also, got a couple of messages from the great Aunt Cindy, who's in the live chat right now. Pop D, monthly supporter. DJ, monthly supporter. Thank you. And what else do we have? We have another one. Wait, what do we got here? Oh, Born to Ride for 45. You're a monthly supporter. Geez, thank you all so much. Listen, this is amazing. You know, I can't thank you enough for this. And Born to Ride for 45. You see the shirt that I'm wearing, don't you? See, Born to Ride for 45 right here. This is one of my favorite shirts. Thank you all. Listen, make sure you smash that like button, that little green thumb beneath the video while I'm taking a little break here and showing some love to the battle crew here. But thank you for your subscriptions. I mean, that means a lot. You know, you subscribing to the show keeps us independent. You know, it allows us to continue to speak truth. Like, you can't turn on the cable news and have them talk about stolen elections. You can't. You can't turn on the cable news and hear them go after big pharma or vaccine companies, you know, or vaccine mandates. You can't talk about that stuff. Well, we can talk about that stuff here. So thank you for that. That means a lot to me. Also, back to the DNC. So Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Dougie, you know, old Dougie Harris, Kamala's husband, took the stage last night as well. And what's kind of amazing to me about the entire Democrat National Convention is just the whole dynamic that's overshadowing the whole thing. So keep in mind, Obama speaks last night. Well, Obama shanks Biden, right? He was involved in it. We know that he was involved in it. Kamala Harris was involved in it as well. So Obama shows up to the DNC, gives some speech, you know, takes time to praise him as an outstanding president. Oh, he's amazing. He's a wonderful guy. Like, his legacy should be up there on Mount Rushmore. There were brothers, man. That's who we are. Biden, sitting president, wasn't even there. Wouldn't even show up. So after he was, you know, pushed out of prime time, like until after midnight, after day one of the convention, Biden's just completely MIA, like he's been for the last 3 years. You know who else wasn't there? Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris wasn't there either. You know what she was doing? She was out doing like a rally somewhere. So what essentially she did was set up bizarre counter programming. So Obama's given his speech, and on one hand during the DNC, And Kamala's out doing a rally somewhere, so they're kind of splitting coverage between that rally and Barack Obama giving his speech. And all the while, Kamala's not there, but her husband spoke tonight? Do you see why, you think back to Stephanie Grisham, and I asked, do you think these people have a soul? These people don't even feel like real people. And then you look at this dynamic overshadowing the entire convention, and you start to think to yourself, like, do these people, are they friends? Do they consider themselves all on the same team? I mean, clearly there's some drama going on behind the scenes here. Like, they're just faking it to make it at the DNC. And by the way, the DNC, again, I was told day 2 from sources that are on the ground there, total shit show. Like a disorganized mess. So Barack Obama gets up there, and I want to jump right into this right away because this is so telling. And keep on the forefront of your mind that everything that these Democrats say, if they're accusing Republicans of something, it's the golden rule. They themselves are guilty of whatever that thing is. And you can safely assume that anything that the Democrats say, that the opposite is actually true. So listen very carefully to Obama up here on the stump at the DNC last night.
Now, it won't be easy. The other side knows it's easier to play on people's fears and cynicism, always has been. They will tell you that government is inherently corrupt, that sacrifice and generosity are for suckers. And since the game is rigged, it's okay to take what you want and just look after your own. That's the easy path. We have a different task. Our job is to convince people that democracy can actually deliver.
That man is the most divisive president of our lifetime. He's way worse than Biden. And the reason why he's worse than Biden is that he has charisma. He has some gravitas to him. Yeah, he can speak. He fakes a good game. And what Barack Obama is excellent at is getting people to take his arrows for him. Oh, we all know that he was involved in shanking Biden and pushing him to the outside. But you haven't seen him do a single interview like Pelosi has, right? You haven't seen him go to the press. Barack Obama is an expert at shaping the game from the shadows, which is why we know, I've been saying from day one, that Biden ain't running the show. Biden is a shit show. The only show that Biden's a part of is the shit show. Sometimes literally and in front of world leaders. But my point is, Barack Obama living right down the street in Washington, D.C., in a mansion within walking distance to the White House. Barack Obama's former staff in the White House, the Biden staffers in Barack Obama's mansion. I mean, the press never bothering to ask. First president to live, in the vicinity of the White House and in Washington, D.C. in a very, very long time. Of course, Barack Obama is running things behind the scenes. But what he said, talking about the government, these people, they want you to believe that, our government is inherently corrupt. In other words, we're crazy for thinking our government is corrupt. Now, I want to ask you all a question. I'm looking at the live chat right now, and there's a little bit of a delay on the show. Tell me yes or no, and I want you all to answer. Is our government corrupt or not? I'll wait to see your responses. But the fact that Barack Obama is up there talking about government corruption and that it's not, our God, they want you to believe that our government is corrupt. Well, I'll look at all the responses. Yep. You all are an amazing audience. Yes. I mean, yeah, I know, Ollie. I'm not effing kidding you. I wanted to hear what you had to say. And staying salty, thank you for the Rumble rant tip. Said he doesn't want me to show Obama again this show. I have one more clip with him. I have just one more. Staying salty. Can you handle one more? Just one more clip. But the fact that Barack Obama is upstage at the DNC talking about the government, oh, it's not corrupt, means that the government is corrupt. Think about it. Barack Obama is up there. He's talking about government's amazing, but this is the dude that really was the original gangster of weaponizing a government against political foes. Barack Obama was woven into the fabric of the Russia collusion hoax. Barack Obama was intimately involved in the FBI wiretapping Trump Tower and wiretapping the Trump campaign. Barack Obama, remember, was illegally surveilling journalists that didn't agree with him, and James Rosen. Do you remember that? Barack Obama started all of that from the shadows. And so that's all the stuff that happened in the past. But you realize in the last 24 hours alone, the federal government revealed that Biden and Kamala lost 291,000 illegal migrant children. I mean, this was from the DHS Inspector General. Summary of the issues. U.S. Immigration and Customs, ICE, could not monitor the location and status of unaccompanied minor children or initiate removal proceedings as needed. During our ongoing audit to access ICE's ability to monitor the location and status of UCs, migrant children, who were released or transferred from the custody of the Department of Homeland Security and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, we learned that ICE transferred more than 448,000 migrant children to HHS from the fiscal year 2019 to 2023. However, ICE was not able to account for the location of all of them. I mean, is this not exactly what we've been talking about on this show for a year? I've said it over and over and over again. 85,000 missing kids that Senator Josh Hawley mentioned in a briefing, a Senate committee. 85,000 missing children sold into sex slavery or some other horrifying form of slavery, yet the Democrats don't give a shit. You don't see anyone dressed in white down at the border crying at a fake fence. You don't see any of them on the media crying about the status of of missing children or children in cages. You don't see any of these left-wing media hacks saying anything about it. But what does it say about us, our political leaders, that will allow 291,000 children who are smuggled into this country to just disappear? I mean, ICE has also said no assurance they are safe from trafficking, exploitation, or forced labor. But don't worry, folks, don't worry. Barack Obama wants you to believe that the government is not corrupt at all. Meanwhile, it's the Biden administration and hacks like Kamala, the so-called border czar, that are responsible for this invasion. They're responsible for the human suffering at our southern border. They're responsible for the drug cartels being more powerful than they've ever been. They're responsible for the human trafficking at our southern border. They're responsible for all the 291,000 missing kids. Who owns that? Joe Biden, the White House, Kamala Harris own that. Yet where the hell is our media? What is happening in this country today that 290,000 children can go missing and no one seems to give a shit on the Democrat side of the aisle? And when Republicans talk about it, we're branded as conspiracy theorists. We're QAnon people. This is happening right under our noses. A slave trade that is greater today than it was during the Civil War. Except for what was the horrifying stuff that was happening during the Civil War happened right out in the open. All of what's happening now is happening on the dark web, the internet. And no one seems to give a shit. There are precious few shows out there that are even bringing attention to it. And I do not understand why. I just don't understand. And this is why I say that there is a fight between good and evil in this world. We see that fight playing out before our eyes every single day. Every single day on this show, there's something else that leaks or some new piece of news that makes me more convinced about this fight and that America is ground zero for it than I ever was before. Think about all of those kids. I mean, the horrifying reality that those little children are living because of policies by the Democrats. The other side of this coin is that how many Republicans do you hear talking about it? I mean, there are some great ones that are out there banging this drum, right? But how is it not that every elected Republican, not just in D.C., but everywhere, isn't raising hell about this report? How is it that this isn't headline news every night on every major cable news outlet in this country? No one's talking about it. No one seems to care. But don't worry, Barack Obama wants you to believe that the government is just fine, folks. It's not corrupt at all. Oh, did you see the news today that 818,000 fewer jobs were added to the economy than previously reported? Now, that's what the news today reported. But if you've been watching this show on Battleground Live, I told you this 2 days ago, that there was a pretty damn good chance that the Bureau of Labor and Statistics was going to have to revise the jobs number down by upwards of 800,000+ to 1 million. In other words, every single jobs headline that we witnessed over the last 12 months was complete bullshit. It was all smoke and mirrors. And I've told you the battle drill before. Release a fake but strong jobs number, fake unemployment numbers, grab the headline, have the news lead in with great unemployment numbers this week for the Biden administration. And oh, by the way, all of this is happening during an election year. Nothing that you see anymore is real. You talk about the deep state run amok. You talk about these institutions. Remember the rule with big, bloated bureaucracies. When conservatives talk about being, we're just for small government, we've said that phrase for so long, I often wonder, do you really know what that means? Do you understand why having a small government is important? As government grows, government becomes inevitably corrupt. And as government grows, so too do their institutions. So too do their bureaucracies. As bureaucracies grow, they gain more power. As they gain more power, their ability to cover things up grows as well. And these bureaucracies now, they're run amok. They make up much of what the deep state is today. They report directly to the president. Their number one responsibility is to protect themselves first, last, and always. So do we have, good example, Trump assassination. Do we have anything from the United States Secret Service? Any truths emanating from the FBI? Absolutely not. In fact, the former director of the U.S. Secret Service, Cheadle, lied during her congressional testimony. Acting Director Rowe lied during his congressional testimony. FBI Director Wray lied during his congressional testimony. The Deputy Director of the FBI lied. So you see what's happening. These bureaucracies protect themselves. And the question is why? Why are they protecting themselves? Because they know that they're on the chopping block. They know that if Trump gets in there, they will be held accountable. They will be brought back in check. At least that's what they fear. And they're going to do everything they can to prevent that from happening. So if it means covering up 291,000 missing children, because the DHS and Mayorkas are trying to circle their wagons and protect the bureaucracy so that Joe Blow in a government job doesn't lose their job. Well, so be it. Hey, if we got to cook the books for a year during an election year and add over between 800,000 and 1 million jobs to make sure that Kamala Harris or Biden before her gets reelected, so be it. You see how this works, right? All these people do is lie, and the institutions, the bigger they become, the more dangerous they get. Here's CNN reporting on the news that I told you about 2 or 3 days ago.
Some breaking news into CNN right now. The job growth has been far weaker in the U.S. than originally reported. That is according to new data just coming in this morning. Let's get right to CNN's Matt Egan. What's the headline, Matt?
Jim, 818,000 fewer jobs were added during the period between April 2023 and March of this year. We were bracing for these revisions to come out and show that job growth was weaker, and that is what we got. This is probably on the high end of the expectations. Some of the forecasters had been saying probably around few 100,000 jobs. Goldman Sachs had said maybe up to 1 million. So this is on the higher end. We're seeing some of the biggest revisions downward in sectors that include manufacturing, leisure and hospitality, professional and business services. Of course, some sectors actually added more jobs than were previously known. Private education, health services, transportation, and warehousing. We look at the market, not a massive reaction from the market. I think that's in part because this is somewhat backwards looking data. What investors really care about is what happens next. And these numbers out today, they do support the idea that the jobs market has been weaker than we previously thought and that it has been slowing down. That makes sense because we know the Fed has been working hard to slow the economy down as it tries to fight inflation. So I do think that the fact that the economy had more than 800,000 fewer jobs than previously known supports the idea that the Fed is going to start cutting interest rates next month. The question still remains whether or not it's a 1/4 point or a larger interest rate.
So, yeah, you see how this is also, by the way, the reason why you should not trust these big bloated news agencies. I mean, we reported this on this small show a couple of days ago, 2 days before CNN even touched it. In fact, this was trending. This news story was trending today. Again, if you're watching Battleground Live, this show happened you knew about this a couple of days ago. Yeah, so I'm working with the team right now to figure out what's going on with Savage Rich. We're not sure. I can't get in contact with him. If we get him here in the green room, absolutely we'll get him on the show and bring him to you. See if I can get somebody else to do a quick pop in to say hi to you all. But okay, so Barack Obama. Let me come back to Barack Obama on this jobs report and think about what I told you about Donald Trump. Think about how Donald Trump said, well, they want me to stay on policy. They don't want me to ever get personal. This is why Donald Trump said what he said. Listen to this.
Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day. Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous.
Oh, yes, yes. Trump is very, very dangerous, says the guy that droned American citizens overseas without trial. Give me an effing break, Barack Obama. God, that guy sucks. Okay, let me tell you very quickly about Sweetamine. If you are suffering from chronic pain, you should definitely try Sweetamine. I spent lots of time in the infantry, wounded a couple times in Afghanistan. Yeah, I suffer from chronic pain, but Sweetamine works, and it works because it's comprised mainly of this amino acid that we have in our body that's naturally occurring called glycine. Glycine is the nutrient our immune system uses to regulate inflammation, and most of the diseases that make people sick and die these days are rooted in chronic inflammation. And most of those aches and pains that you feel as you get older, you guessed it, chronic inflammation. So once daily serving of Sweetamine provides 8 grams of glycine, and that's enough to stop all excess inflammation, basically right where it starts. You know, you take it, and after a couple of days, you'll start to feel better. You'll start to feel less pain. For me, it took me about a week. You can use Sweetamine for recovery after workouts. And look, it's not like an opiate-based pain medication. It works slowly on secondary inflammation. So, you know, if you've got pain in your ankles, knees, hips, back, whatever, this stuff really does help. I'm not a bullshit snake oil salesman. I tried this myself before I pitched it on this show. You use Sweetamine just like sugar. So like a little sugar packet. So you can put it on, you know, a protein shake and a smoothie, sprinkle it on your cereal, take it any way you want. $19.95, right? Comes with free shipping. It's sold completely risk-free. So if you don't like it, you think it sucks, you think it's not working, you can send it back, get a money-back guarantee. You can buy it online at sweetamine.com. That's SWEETAMINE.com or 855-GET-SWEET, 855-438-7933. Sweetamine.com, 855-GET-SWEET, or call 855-438-7933. So listen, folks, I got a little surprise for you all today. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to introduce this person because I don't want to kill the surprise before I introduce this person. I don't even want to say he or she. In fact, I'll just bring her on right now. Hey, Wendy. Welcome.
I was just cutting the grass. Hey, man.
You were cutting the grass? That's what you wear to cut the grass?
Yeah, drinking a beer, cutting the grass. Yeah.
What?
Sean, what the hell?
Wait, you cut the grass. You're going to sit here on the show and have me believe that you're out there pushing the mower. You have 5 boys.
I love cutting the grass. I love cutting the grass and I love drinking cold beer while I'm doing it. And you know what? It is what it is. Sean, what are you talking about in this show? Because you sound like you're super ticked off. And I feel
Barack Obama sucks, man.
Yeah.
I mean, can you believe so first of all, we have the story that there are 290,000 missing children.
And I was just going to say that.
No one seems to give a shit. Like Democrats, like nobody crying clad in white down at the border like AOC, like at a parking lot with the photo ops. Nobody in the media, you know, freaking out about kids in cages. And frankly, you know, our party, there are precious, I know you talked about this today, but there are precious few in our position who are talking about it. And how is it that every elected Republican, local, state, and federal, isn't raising absolute hell about this? To me, it's crazy. What do you think?
Tomorrow, and I want you to, this is not a shameless plug for my show tomorrow, but we're going to have a couple voices on. I want you guys to all pay really close attention to the Black voices out there. I'm talking like the homies, you know, down on the street. I'm talking about people of every economic stripe who are Black. They know that they know everything. They understand history. They understand propaganda. They know pandering. They know authentic when they see it, and they know they're hungry for it. And all this nonsense going on out there that you think people aren't paying attention to, they're paying attention to it. And a lot of them are Black.
I mean,
it's amazing to see this.
In fact,
and
I
it's not
agree
amazing
with you
because,
more.
oh my gosh, they're so smart, or oh my gosh, I'm so dumb that I've never paid attention.
Yeah. So you want to see something crazy? I completely agree. Don Lemon went out there and, like, you know, Don Lemon, crazy leftist from CNN, went out there and was just asking random people, like, a lot of them black.
Trump or Kamala.
Yeah. And listen to what they said. Check this video out with me.
About the election.
I'm going for Trump. I feel like every time they don't want somebody who is good for us to win, they throw somebody black in our face thinking that's going to like make us vote for the black person.
I voted for Obama because he was black. I don't want to vote for her because she's the first black woman to run for president or to win.
I don't vote.
Well, I want Donald Trump. I'm sorry, I want Donald Trump.
Why do you apologize?
Well, I know nobody likes him, but we had good times with
She's
Donald
drunk.
Trump.
I'm running for Trump, so
You are?
yeah.
Well, why?
Yeah. I don't know. I just always been a fan of his, so that's what I'm running for.
I used to be against Trump. I used to live in Virginia. I saw the bad side of it, but really moving to Cleveland, but I saw the other side of it.
I'm supporting Trump
You are. Because?
because it has to change. It has to change, and now I vote more for what fits me better as a person rather than voting for the black person or voting for the first woman. So
What do you think about Kamala Harris?
I think they say she phony and fake. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like Trump saying, what are you? So I'm not feeling her. People get mad about it. I'm just not feeling her.
I don't like her the way she speaks, the giddiness, the laughing. Everything's a joke, and it's not a joke. We're in trouble.
I'm going for Trump. Kamala was on Biden's team, and I don't like Biden. Gas wasn't this high when Trump was our president. Food wasn't this high. I'm going for Trump.
So, Wendy, it's almost like it's almost like you knew what I was going to be talking about on the show. But to your point, like I completely agree. There are indications now, and you see this in the polling, but I tell people all the time, don't trust one-off polls. Look at trends, like keep your ear to the ground.
Yeah.
Listen to normal people. But there are indications that Trump, as a Republican president, would get a higher share of the black vote. I'm not saying he's going to win the majority, but he's got more black support than almost just about any other Republican, certainly in my lifetime.
Joe Biden has lost 44% of the black vote in 3.5 years, 44%. I mean, but what's interesting is like the media don't go into the communities. They don't go on the street. They don't go, Sean, where I live in Pittsburgh. They don't go to the predominantly black neighborhoods just a mile away from me and ask people, what do you think? What do you feel? What's going on? Because if they did, they'd be scared shitless. Because these people know. They know, they're smart, they get it. Tomorrow, we're going to have a half-hour-long conversation with a woman from Baltimore who I've known for 4 years, never met her, but she used to call into the radio show. Black woman who would tell the truth about what's going on in Baltimore, because Baltimore is Cleveland, is Pittsburgh, is Philly, is Oakland, is San Fran, is New York. Sean, it's terrible. We gotta freaking talk about this.
Yeah, it is terrible. And our cities are crumbling under Democrat leadership. And what's so strange, Wendy, is I was talking before you got on about how as institutions, and this is interchangeable when I say the deep state and our intelligence communities run amok, the blob, whatever you want to call them, as institutions grow, they become more corrupt, but they also get more powerful. And when they have a lot of power and they're inherently corrupt, there's zero transparency. And that's why I think we're in a very precarious spot as a country, because you think about this, Wendy. Do you ever think, because I said in the lead-in, is that this lawfare stuff with Trump and Trump's mugshot, an historic, like it's something that people will remember forever, seems like an eternity ago. All this lawfare stuff seems like an eternity ago. And now the Trump assassination attempt happens and the media has completely memory hold it. It's absolutely crazy. And you would think these Democrats, and this is why I say the Democrat Party, they're an existential threat to this country, and that Republicans should not ever, ever, ever dial back their rhetoric, because the left never will. But the Democrat Party, not one single speaker on that stage, not a single person has acknowledged the fact that Trump almost died last month. And again, juxtapose that, what I just told you, with the image of Trump stopping his rally speech today, walking out from behind ballistic glass to go help a woman who passed out. It's crazy, right?
I am in a very weird spot. I'm the eternal optimist. I really, really believe in the best in people, but I hate everyone. So these two worlds.
You hate everybody equally.
I'm like, no, I don't, because they stole our rainbow, and that pisses me off. Like, nobody
That's
told
true,
you
too.
to co-opt our freaking rainbow. I used to love rainbows until you screwed with it. Screw you, all of you. That's how I feel on a daily basis. But no, I agree with you. I mean, it's crazy. But because of you and what you do, and the voice that you bring from service and the military, and the rationale and your ability to, on a dime, just go, I love it. My man, it's people like you are going to be the next generation that saves this country. And I don't know if you weigh going back into politics or what that would look like or how much that would suck. But I would say that you, sir, veterans like you, honorable men, strong men, family men, you are the salvation of this country. And you have a very strong cadre of people, I'll say in the Black community, right near my house, who are ready to stand up and fight for what is right. I guarantee you.
Well, Wendy, you are awesome. Hey, tell the audience what you got on deck for tomorrow for the show. I know, and Brock, by the way, is texting me saying how he got shafted. Brock, why are you getting shafted? Why are you getting shafted? Man?
He's fantastic. He's great. Well, you know what? I was driving out. I was stuck in traffic, and I was listening to a woman on Twitter, and it's a Black woman from Texas, and she's going over her perspective of the Democratic National Convention. And she just takes the camera and she turns it around herself, and she, without hesitation, just like this, nails all the defund the police wackos who now have police supporting them, all the people anti the war wall who put up walls around them, all the people who are this, all the people who are that, now the hypocrisy. It's brilliant. And we're going to cut that up to reinstill my hypothesis that there are a lot of people who've been quiet for way too long, and they want this country to survive and thrive as much as we do. And you're going to hear from them tomorrow. And this woman, Barb from Baltimore, who's just off the charts.
That's amazing. I mean, listen, everybody that's watching, listening now, get on over to the Wendy Bell radio program. Follow her on Rumble. She's got a 3-hour show. And I would not be doing this were it not for you and Brock, by the way.
If it were not for Brock.
Well, for both of you. And I'll tell you, you get a great show from 9 to noon on Rumble. It live streams every day. They live stream the commercials too. It's a blast. But make sure you get over there and subscribe, follow the Wendy Bell radio program, and support them, because just awesome patriots, Wendy. Thank you for jumping in and surprising the audience.
I just like to see my handsome friend. Don't tell Melanie, but you're a boyfriend. Okay, peace out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one. So that's Wendy Bell. So you all know who Wendy Bell is, right? She's the best. Yes. So we're trying to figure out what's going on with Savage Rich, but you know what? We got Wendy Bell, and listen, this is how we roll. We have each other's backs when we need it. And so I'm grateful for Wendy. Okay, let me tell you, let me do a couple more reads, and I got this video I got to show you that was taken at the DNC. It will absolutely blow your mind. It's hysterical and a microcosm of the ridiculousness of the Democrat Party. Stay right there. But let me tell you about My Patriot Supply. I am a proud American, and that means if you come after me or my family, I will be ready. And that's why I rely on My Patriot Supply. Their mega 3-month emergency food kit comes jam-packed with 33 varieties of filling and delicious foods. Not only does that include creamy chicken flavored rice, old-fashioned Italian spaghetti, savory, cheesy broccoli soup. Now, listen, I might not eat all of that stuff. You all know I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, but my family loves it. And they say all the time that cooking and eating with me is a rather dull affair. But with My Patriot Supply, it doesn't have to be dull. So you get a bonus protein kit with diced beef, flavorful chicken chunks, and 3 varieties of beans, plus 9 different fruits, vegetables, and snacks. All in all, this emergency food kit provides a whopping 2,500 calories per day to keep you well fed and ready for anything. The way I see it, it's my solemn duty as an American to protect my family without waiting on handouts. And that starts with food you can depend on for up to 25 years. So go to preparewithvnn.com right now. Save $300 on your mega 3-month emergency food kit. It ships fast. It ships free. Go to preparewithvnn.com, save $300 on your kit. Again, that's preparewithvnn.com. Also, debt. My family is in debt, and we've been in debt for a long time. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We've got 5 kids. times are real rough in the Biden economy. Debt consumes you. I know what it's like to be afraid to not be able to make that next month's mortgage payment or card payment. I know. I get it. Go to bed thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it. The truth is, our system here in this country tends to trap you in debt, whether it's high interest credit cards, loans. These things make it nearly impossible to pay off your debt. An insane Biden inflation keeps you stuck paycheck to paycheck. Done with Debt could be your lifeline, folks. Done with Debt has an ingenious new strategy to help you erase your debt faster and easier than you thought possible. Done with Debt analyzes all the debt options that you qualify for. They know how to reduce bills. They know how to cut interest rates. Their skilled staff of negotiators know how to get debt out of your life permanently without bankruptcy and without a loan. Done with Debt are the experts and brilliant strategies for eliminating debt, but you need to hurry because some debt solutions are time sensitive. Even if you have questions, folks, just go to donewithdebt.com, check them out. That is donewithdebt.com. Select VNN or Vigilant News Network at checkout. That is donewithdebt.com. Okay, folks, you got to see this video before we get out of here for the night. This video, I just want to give you a sense of what we're up against. Just look.
What brought you out here today? No, listen, my name is Noah Shorts. I use he, they pronouns. I'm just really excited that we have the first black woman that could be the president of the United States. And my wife, right? We're in a polyamorous relationship. The lover that my wife took is African American, and I've learned so much about the struggle that people of color go through as a result of my wife's boyfriend. And so,
as a result, what is happening right now?
I'm excited to really do my part to show solidarity for marginalized communities, and the best way to do that is to get the first woman of color to be the commander-in-chief, and I'm really excited. I'm so pumped.
Were you this pumped and excited when Joe Biden was the nominee?
I mean, listen, I would vote for a corpse over voting for Donald Trump because he's a disgusting fascist white supremacist pig. But now, we get to really make history. We have, like I said, we have the first woman of color to be president of the United States, and our country, it was founded on the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Kamala Harris, there's nothing.
So some people are saying this guy's a comedian. I mean, if he is, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Alex Stein, but that's not Alex Stein. And if he's a comedian trolling the Democrats, amazing. He's doing an amazing job. He's got the act down pat.
Embodies those values more than a Kamala Harris presidency. So I'm pumped. I'm ready. I am so excited. I'm a proud white dude for Kamala Harris, baby. Let's go. Woo!
Have you seen any excitement at a Democratic event in this stadium? Or?
No, listen, this is amazing. You can't generate. I couldn't see any more excitement. The only way there could be any more excitement is if maybe you had an artist or a celebrity performing or opening for Kamala, but no, this is amazing. This is celebrity level of excitement. This is a rock star.
Okay, so I saw this video and I didn't know. Comedian, not what do you all think? I want to hear. Is this guy for real? Is this guy a real? Because if he's trolling, who's he trolling? Some random no-name journalist? You'd think if he's trolling somebody, he'd be trolling a politician, film it, put it out there, have it go viral. Is this guy real or is he a comedian? Let me know in the live chat.
And then, the thing that I'm the happiest about when it comes to a Kamala Harris presidency, it's the economy. And, I'm really excited about how she finally wants to put a cap on prices at the grocery store. And, look, even if price controls, may lead to shortages of food and basic goods, the shortages will lead to rationing, and rationing, that leads to equity, and we need to be more equitable.
See, that to me right there at the end is what indicates it has to be fake. Hey, yeah, Food Lion's whatever. I'm going comedian, has to be comedian. Sergeant No saying not a comedian, idiot. People seem to love It's Texas Liberty saying it sounds like Alex Stein. I know it feels like it is, but I don't think that's Alex Stein. He's real, but praying it's Alex Stein. He's trolling. He's a beta male. People say, but listen, I mean, Brock is texting me saying he's he's real, wearing a fanny pack. Commander Melanie has weighed in, said fake, and I really do think, hey, who cares if it leads to food lines? Like that's kind of to me tells he's a comedian. Lisa says not a comedian, just a dumbass. So, folks, listen. Make sure you smash that like button on your way out. Like we've got almost a couple thousand now live viewers, which is amazing. Smash that like button on your way out. If you're new to watching this show, make sure you follow Battleground Live. I want you in the trenches with us, fighting to save this country. This show, I feel like we're a fairly fast-growing, conservative daily podcast that pulls no punches. So join us. I'd love to have you. As any OG member of the Battle Crew will tell you, I mean it when I say this is your show. There are sometimes I'll be engaging with people in the live chat an hour before the show, and we'll be talking about something, and I'll just take what we're talking about and just jump right into the show on that topic. Because what you all care about really, really, really matters to me. And so I try to engage with people in the live chat. When I say it's your show, I really do mean it. It's a show for we the people. So make sure you follow the show, watch the show here live with us. Rich is just texting me. He said it's his son's birthday and he set an alarm. Oh man, listen, it's okay. It's okay, Rich. It's his son's birthday. So we got to tell everybody, wish Savage Rich happy birthday in the chat, and Outlaw Dogs. Next time I will make sure that Savage Rich wishes you a happy birthday when he comes on. He's really upset, but it's his son's birthday. He's texting me right now. It's all good. This kind of stuff happens. We roll with the punches. It's how it works. Okay. Do not Rich. You're watching this show. We love you. Don't worry about it. Family has to come first anyway. Mistakes happen. Don't stress. For you all, tomorrow, Right Night. Brian Dean Wright is in the arena. All sorts of awesome stuff to talk about. So make sure you are there with us sharp. 5 p.m. Eastern time right here on Rumble. As always, folks, God bless you all. And God bless this amazing country that we call home. Take care, good night, and I will see you tomorrow.